As always, thank you guys for checking out the new comic channel. I hope you guys enjoy the comic book entertainment and more. Let's get to this. Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong 2 number 5 dropped, and man, I was too hyped reading this. Not only do we get a return of King Ghidorah, but this comic felt like Godzilla x Kong King of the Monsters 2, A League of Justice. Yes, I'm just going to say it like that, A League of Justice. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to everybody here. Make sure you like, follow, and share this video. Let's get to it.
I get on these beats and I provide my city dope, yeah. I get on these beats and I revive my brother's hope, yeah. I get on these beats and I flow like a ghost.
30 minutes ago, Batman discovered that Task Force X and Shaw, Colonel Shaw, were moving from Phase 2 to Phase 3. Batman speaks about Outpost 6, the Yunnan province, and a temple before he is whacked on the head by Harley's mallet. Harley swings again, but Batman catches the mallet this time. Harley also admits she needs help, and her therapist says she should ask him. Batman asks her, "Then why are you attacking me?" To which Harley replies, "That's our dynamic. Am I just supposed to show up mallet in hand and ask for help?" Batman takes the mallet from her hand and says, "If that's what you want, yes." Getting down to it, Harley wants Batman to find Mr. J. Batman is surprised, asking, "Wait, the Joker is here?" But we quickly find out it's not their Joker. Harley is trying to find the Joker from the MonsterVerse's world, the world they're in right now. Harley also tells Batman that Amanda Waller is dead, and Colonel Shaw has taken over the Suicide Squad. And the world's greatest detective hits us with a "Amanda Waller is dead." Look at my man's face, y'all. Yes, guys, back in JL vs. Big G vs. Kong 2 number 1, Amanda Waller was shot dead by Colonel Shaw after getting into an argument with him over why the Justice League was there on the planet. Long gone. Goodbye, R.I.P. Amanda Waller. Moving on to Skull Island, where we see Kong climbing a mountain. When he reaches the top, he roars as we get a glimpse of King Ghidorah and his right hand fire demon, Rodan, himself. Green Lantern questions, seriously, whose side are they on? But, I mean, come on. We watch the MonsterVerse and so much more Godzilla movies. We know why the False King and his supporters are here right now. King Ghidorah and Rodan begin their descent upon a beaten and tired Godzilla and Kaiju Superman. Wonder Woman answers Green Lantern, stating clearly they're the opposite. They're challenging Godzilla's alpha primacy. My intuition tells me they seek to disrupt the natural order rather than to protect it. My girl Diana right here, hitting it. She 1-for-1 already. You would have almost thought that she was in the King of the Monsters and witnessed this moment. Hal says, "I'm not sure Godzilla or Superman are up to the challenge." Supergirl says, "Unless they work together." If Cal can convince Godzilla that we are on the same side, as we are shown Godzilla and Kaiju Superman locking eyes, not knowing which side which is on. That is until Soup swings on the left head of King Ghidorah and then Kevin. As the middle head moves to attack Kaiju Superman, Godzilla blasts his ass and then lets out a roar. Green Lantern speaks. Godzilla seems convinced. Cause he is. You go at the false king, the true king gon' have your back. Rodan intervenes, grabbing Kaiju Superman, getting him off of King Ghidorah. Green Lantern admits it's time to step it up, and he means way up. With Will and his Green Lantern ring, Green Lantern forms a giant mech around him and becomes Ultima Lantern. On the next panel, we get Godzilla going at King Ghidorah's heads with Ultima Lantern backing him up. Rodan pins Superman to the ground, while Wonder Woman and Supergirl tie the lasso around Rodan's horns. Supergirl and Wonder Woman gain enough strength and pull Rodan off of Kaiju Superman, but that doesn't last long as Rodan flies upwards, lifting both of them. Supergirl is burned by Rodan's wings of fire and lets go while Wonder Woman holds on. Superman finally manages to get up and takes off after Rodan, Wonder Woman, and Supergirl. Godzilla, King Ghidorah, and Ultima Lantern are on the ground tussling it out and wrestling, as you can see King G is on top of King Ghidorah. Godzilla handles one of the heads as the other two attack Ultima Lantern, giving King G the moment to tail slap the hell out of King Ghidorah, getting him off of Ultima Lantern. We are then taken to the Flash, who is working near the imprisoned Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad lets the Flash know that they are all here against their will, to which Captain Boomerang interjects, "Duh, we're in jail, idiot," only to have Flash respond with, "I think he's referring to your forced inclusion in Task Force X, which will be taken into consideration when we hand you over to the authorities on our Earth." The Suicide Squad then puts Flash up on game that Amanda Waller is dead and asks him to get them out of this weird-ass giant monster world that they didn't ask to be in and get these bombs off their neck. Isn't that funny? Even villains know the true power of kaiju. Peacemaker also apologizes to the Flash for shooting him. Yes, back in JL vs. King G vs. Kong 2 number 2, Peacemaker fired a supersonic round at the Flash during the battle, and he grazed his skull. You can see Barry got knocked down on the ground right here. In the Monarch Outpost, Mr. Terrific has the battle outside on the screens. Godzilla and Ultima Lantern versus King Ghidorah. Two of the heads blast at Godzilla as he fights back while the others shoot Ultima Lantern, and Rodan flying through the air on the other screen. Mr. Terrific says, holding their own won't be enough if he can't reproduce the Titanizing serum. They don't know how long Superman has as a kaiju, and they can't leave it all on their hands. He has to scale up the rest of the Justice League to compete with the Titans. So you mean to tell me we will be getting a Kaiju Justice League? Oh, hell yes! I've been waiting for this! Hey, this is about to be the greatest thing ever. A Monarch agent asks Mr. T, "Don't you need the same energy source the bad guys are after inside Hollow Earth?" To which he responds, "I can find an alternative energy source. The issue is time. There may not be enough time to make at least one more dose to help swing this fight right now. They're on their own." Then, the Monarch agent speaks, "Maybe not," as the next panel shows Kaiju Superman holding Rodan's wings and forcing him down out of the sky as Wonder Woman holds on for dear life. Kaiju Superman punches Rodan, then gets behind him and puts him in a stranglehold. Kaiju Superman holds on with all his strength but is shot by lightning/gravity from the ground and lets go of Rodan. Yes guys, the lightning that you saw hit Kaiju Superman was from King Ghidorah, who now has Godzilla on the ground with two heads blasting him and one head staring into the sky shooting Superman. Ultima Lantern just crawling on the ground at this point. Supergirl swings on the head shooting Kaiju Superman, but he continues to fall with Rodan hot on his tail, ready to attack again until Rodan spots something. And that something is Kong, jumping from the mountains into the air and grabbing Rodan by the throat. Green Lantern catches Kaiju Superman with the baseball mitt. Kong wails on Rodan as they drop from the sky and lands on him with his arm against his throat. With Rodan down, Kong rises up, roaring at King Ghidorah. Godzilla is still pretty messed up from the blast and can't get off the ground yet. Kaiju Superman, Wonder Woman, Kong, and Ultima Lantern stand before King Ghidorah. GL says, "Good to have you back on our side, Kong. 3 of us, 3 heads. Seems like a fair fight. Soups, Kong. Let's do this." Yo, let's go! Colonel Shaw, Lex Luthor, Cheetah, and Black Manta are in the Hollow Earth. Black Manta notes that they lost half of their numbers to the League, and there's a giant monster battle royal going on up there. Lex lets them know that that was by design to keep the attention off of them. They have made it to the Titanizing energy, but Lex lets them know they don't have the means to contain it. Colonel Shaw shows how intellectually challenged he is, as he calls Luthor the supposed greatest mind on Earth, but somehow he doesn't know how to move the energy. Lex hits him with, "Yes, my intellectual superiority is self-evident, and no, I didn't say I didn't know how to do it. I have to build a containment unit." Which is crazy that he had to say out loud, because the moment he said he didn't have the means to contain it, my mind immediately said he's got to make one. But that skipped right over Colonel Shaw. Lex finishes with, "You wanted to move to phase 3, so let's do that." Ultima Lantern makes his hand into a giant hammer he hits King Ghidorah with, while Kong and Kaiju Superman hold the other heads. Supergirl and Wonder Woman keep Rodan tied up on the ground with the unbreakable lasso of truth, and then finally, Godzilla rises off the ground prepared to fire a shot. Godzilla lets loose, firing on King Ghidorah as Wonder Woman yells out, "Watch out," to the others. Ultima Lantern, Kong, and Kaiju Superman hold on to each of Ghidorah's heads to stop them from firing back. Everything looks like it's going their way, until Supergirl notices Kaiju Superman's heart rate spiking. And in this moment, Superman's Titan serum begins wearing off of him as he falls and becomes normal size. Kong continues to hold on to King Ghidorah's head as the Free One blasts Ultima Lantern off of them. Supergirl catches a drained Superman as King Ghidorah takes off into the air, blasting energy with Kong on his back. Kong is bucked off the back of King Ghidorah as all three heads fire from the heavens, hitting Ultima Lantern, Wonder Woman, Superman, and Supergirl. Godzilla is bombarded by a huge amount of energy and you can feel his pain. Rodan grabs Kong's arm as he falls out of the sky, and the next panel shows us a whole bunch of T-spheres coming. The T-spheres aimed at King Ghidorah blow up as they connect with the false king. Mr. Terrific jumps in with more T-spheres, this time aimed at Rodan, and yes, they do the same thing, and yes, Kong is dropped again. Mr. Terrific drops on top of Superman and Supergirl with another dose of the Titan serum. Kong is thrown from the sky into smoke-filled mountains. King Ghidorah and Rodan stand before the heroes as Mr. T admits it appears he's too late. Superman tells him, "It's never too late. Give it to me. Gotta stop them." But Supergirl stops him by saying, "Don't do it, Cal. It's over." And as she says that, King Ghidorah's head raised into the sky to roar together. Supergirl goes on to say, even with Godzilla and Kong on our side, we still lost. Now we don't even have them. As Godzilla dives into the water, Kong is still falling. Then we see Godzilla taking his leave. Quick reminder that Godzilla is the king of the monsters, and the only way he would leave this fight is if he was dead. He would never leave. He would never run. He would never do it. Green Lantern says this stings in more ways than one. Superman states Kong fell into Hollow Earth where Luthor is. I'm going down there. Supergirl says she's going with them. The issue ends with Superman and Supergirl flying off to find Kong, while Mr. Terrific says making sure Kong is all right makes sense, but bottom line, we need a better plan. And yes, they really do. They really do need a better plan, because right now, whatever they're doing, they're behind the villains and they're getting their asses beaten. I know Lex is ahead of the curve right now. Let me know if you guys like this. I'm Jordan Blaine of New Kamga, and Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong 2, number 5 is super verified.